All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another video, and today I am going to do the Caleb Williams transfer option. So he entered the portal today, and I was actually shocked because even after that bowl game, I was pretty certain he would stay on. Um, I love the Jeff Lebby connection. I love Jeff Lebby as a offensive play caller in Oklahoma, but we're gonna go for some teams. So, forgot to do PowerPoint. Dark horses. Okay, you're going to see that first name and you're going to say you're crazy. It's a less than 1% chance. But if Caleb Williams gets offered a crazy NIL deal to go there, it's not going to happen. But I at least would like to say it's a dark horse if it somehow does happen, so I can get some credit for it. Clemson as well. I guess I wouldn't want him to go to Clemson in the sense where I think that their program is going downhill by a lot. I have an issue with, first of all, I feel like that Tony Elliott and Dabo Sweeney, that's right, Tony Elliott and Brett Venables meant more to that program than Dabo Sweeney, in my opinion. May be a little crazy, but I would rather see Cade Klubnik and DJ Ungalele compete next year. UNC with Sam Howell leaving, I would love to see Caleb. UNC as a football program is not great. Mac Brown, if you can be coach under Mac Brown, that's a plus. Auburn, I'm hearing there's a possible NIL thing with Auburn, which I can get, but I don't really see any big connection for Caleb Williams to go to Auburn. But I'm hearing a lot of stuff for Auburn. And then Penn State. One thing I will mention with James Franklin was he really, really interested in Caleb Williams during the recruiting process. So if you're a school like Penn State, you may try to go after him. But the reason why they're not a school on the list is, I think they're really dedicated to Sean Clifford, and it's stupid because Caleb Williams is 5 times better than Sean Clifford. But Penn State is a very loyal team, and I just don't see them straying away from Sean Clifford. I may be wrong on that just because of how much James Franklin covets Caleb Williams, but we'll see. I'm going to put UCLA as a dark horse as well with the Dillon Gabriel decommit. I guess I understand it, but at the same time, I don't even think Dillon Gabriel is good enough to win the Sooners job if Caleb Williams transfers somewhere else. Oklahoma, I'm going to put them as an option. He said he would go back, but at the same time, if you're married, you tell your wife, "Hey, I want a divorce," and a week later, you're like, "Oh, I don't. There's not better options than you. I want to come back to you." Good chance she is going to drag her heel into your face. Don't do that if you're a married man. But in general, I just don't see him coming back. Now at the same time with Jake Haener in Fresno State, sure, that's why I put them on the list, but I don't see it. Next up, USC. So USC and Oklahoma are not high options for me. The reason why I'm not as high in Oklahoma is I don't think Caleb Williams wants to be paid as a villain. I am a huge fan of what Lincoln Riley did leaving Oklahoma. USC is, I would say, a top 3 job in college football, and I would probably rather want the USC head coaching job than around half the NFL coaching jobs. So, but Caleb Williams, I don't think he's a guy that wants to be panned out as this huge villain. He saw what happened to Spencer Rattler. And Spencer Rattler, after watching some videos on his arrogance, I don't like Spencer Rattler as a person. But I don't think he wants to be painted as a villain. Plus, I think Jackson Dart is good enough for Caleb Williams to say, I really don't want to enter into a competition. So these are my main ones. LSU, I'm pretty sure their starter left the portal. I'm pretty sure Max Johnson. At the same time, though, Brian Kelly knows that the expectations of LSU are high. I wouldn't want Caleb Williams to go to LSU right now because I don't think they have enough offensive talent to win a national championship. But if Brian Kelly can convince him, Brian Kelly can convince him. Here's the one you're gonna see. A lot of people are not gonna like this. Hear me out. First of all, Virginia's quarterback may enter the NFL draft. I think it's a decent possibility that it happens, and at the same time, too, you may say, "Ugh, Virginia is a bad program." Ugh. Tony Elliott Jr. recruited Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams wants to say, "Hey, I want to possibly be developed NFL wise. Look at Deshaun Watson. Look at Trevor Lawrence. What did that Tony Elliott did to them?" Now you may say, "Well, yeah, but DJ Uiagalelei was bad last year." Everyone has a bad year, and Clemson's football program was depleted in talent the last few years. And I think Virginia is also, I think it's a less toxic environment in Virginia. It's kind of a safe school. Next up, Ole Miss. Ole Miss, as of this moment, is my favorite. You saw what Lane Kiffin did with Matt Corral. Matt Corral was probably a B plus college quarterback before this season. Lane Kiffin turned to an A. Maybe now it's an A plus, but an A quarterback. Imagine Caleb Williams, who is I would say right now, an A college quarterback. Lane Kiffin can do so much of him in this offense. I don't love the receiving. I don't love the offensive playmakers at Ole Miss, but Lane Kiffin could make it work. And plus, Caleb Williams probably well, Caleb Williams is 2 years. So, is Caleb Williams redshirt freshman? I don't know. But anyway, I was saying that just because, Lane Kiffin can leave. Knowing Lane Kiffin, if another job opens, he could take it. I think Sark may be on the hot seat at Texas. Lane Kiffin can go to Texas. I think if he gets offered the Texas job. But I think that is a good fit. All right, Michigan State. As a Michigan fan, I would hate this, but Mel Tucker is building this team really well. And Caleb Williams could say, "Hey, I want to go to a good program." And Big Ten is also not as hard of a conference. A lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, he's going to go to the SEC." If I'm a quarterback, I want to go to the Pac-12 or the Big Ten right now, because I guess I'm not a huge fan of risking my chance of starting and going to a school like Alabama or an SEC school. Plus, your offensive line is going to be better. Michigan State with Mel Tucker, they're really a quarterback away from a Big Ten championship. Even though I think Ohio, as a Michigan fan, I think we're going to regress next year. Ohio State's going to be a lot better than they were this year. And that's what could scare me from Caleb Williams, because, Caleb Williams wants to be in the college football playoffs. Finally, Georgia, it's being heavily recruited or reported. And I think Kirby Smart, I think he realizes the Justin Fields situation. And he really should have kept Justin Fields as his quarterback. If Todd Monken, I think Todd Monken could very well get an NFL offensive coordinator job this offseason. And I think he could get an OC/assistant head coach for a team. If Todd Monken stays at Georgia, having Caleb Williams work with Matt, like that is the best case NFL scenario for Caleb Williams. First of all, you have an amazing defense, even though a lot of the guys a few guys like Jordan Davis and Kobe Dean are going to leave for the NFL draft. You still have elite guys in your defense. Plus, offensively, it's not as good offensively, but with Todd Monken as an elite offensive coordinator who's an NFL mind, the chances of you succeeding and being the number one overall pick is going to be higher. National championship. Now, this is the only SEC school I would go. The SEC school I would go to. If Georgia was in the Pac-12, it would be stupid for Caleb Williams not to go there. But there's a lot of really good talent in Georgia. And the other part I want to say too is, from what I'm hearing, there is a huge chance that there's a huge NFL or NIL deal lined up for Caleb Williams. I mean, on NIL, it's a name, image, likeness. Pretty much NCAA 14, the football game. Yeah. That's pretty much what it is, the whole saga. If he has a deal lined up for, I heard $2 million, plus you go to a better program than Oklahoma right now, you have to take it. So one more time, if I think Caleb Williams will go to Georgia, and if I am Caleb Williams, I would probably say Georgia. I'm not saying Georgia just because it's SEC. I think Virginia is my dark horse, though. I think it's going to be Georgia. But if he goes to Virginia, do not be surprised. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and goodbye.